Welcome to my video. First off, I want to give praise, glory, and honor to my Father in heaven and my Redeemer, my Creator, Yah, and my Redeemer, Yeshua, or Jesus Christ. However you say it, I believe Jesus Christ will be the name above every name because God will take what they meant for evil and make it for good. And everything was created by God for God. So I believe the name Jesus in gematria equals 888. So I I lived on that name Jesus for nearly 60 years. So there's no way I could even, if I found out it was really, if I didn't think God would make it for His good, yeah, it might be. I might change my story then, but I can't see that because it's gematria is 888, which is a new beginning. So, and Jesus is going to be the new beginning in the 1,000-year millennium. But what I want to talk about here now is this video I'm going to do here is I've told y'all on some of my videos that, I hope all is doing well and thanks for coming to my channel. I'm going to ask you to share my videos and with your friends, family, whoever. I've talked a lot about what's going on today, or I've tried to, without saying too much because YouTube is owned by Google, and Google don't like Jesus Christ or followers of Jesus Christ. But anyway, I want to talk about something here that I've talked to y'all about that in my heart I know that I'm associated with time because I'd wake up about 10 years ago. I started waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then in a little while I'd fall back to sleep and I'd wake up and it'd be 3 o'clock again. And during these times that this happens, or if I went back to sleep, I might wake up at 4 or 4:30 or something, and I think it's got to be time to get up because it seemed like I was asleep forever. I mean, it was just so long, and it's done that for 10 years, and it makes you feel really bad. I mean, when you go through those time spells, and because they're manipulating time. They figure out how to do it through light cells and however they're doing it at CERN or whatever. The D-Wave quantum computers, they're manipulating time somehow. Because the Bible says that Satan would think how to change time and laws at the end of time. That's what he would think to do, is to change time and laws. But anyway, there's another theory to that 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 during those time skips that that's where people shapeshift. And folks, I know a lot of y'all seen these things about these reptilian shapeshifters and stuff like that. Anything, there's going to be a counterfeit. Anything that God does, Satan's going to try to do. So yeah, they probably are those shapeshifters from Satan, because here lately I've seen so many people's eyes that did not work in the stores, and I mean, when I look at them, their eyes just go crossed or they go up so far out you can't see nothing but their white in their eyes, and it's something. When I look at them, their eyes will not work, and they've been manipulated somehow. They're either the other seeds, what I think they are. There's two seeds on this earth, God's seed and Satan's seed. So anyway, but what I want to get to about this time, I started telling my wife about 10 years ago that there's a spirit or Satan or somebody's manipulating time. So when I started researching who I was, trying to find out who I was, because I was raised as a Gentile, but come to find out my blood is Hebrew from the line of Abraham, and some of my family don't even know their great grandma and grandpa was named Jacob and Abraham, and some of my family don't even know that, and I've tried to tell them, but these people have got spells put on them where it just seems like it goes in one ear and out the other about this stuff that's going around now. They want you to take. I mean, it's just like people's got a spell on them. I've had some it was in my family at one time that I thought would have never took this stuff, but man, my heart just broke whenever I heard that he took it, and hopefully that I believe I can pray for him, and it will neutralize it. I believe God will render it useless, in him. But if he don't want to do that, there's nothing I can do about it. They've took the mark. That's what I believe it is. It's about abomination to your temple. Our body is the temple now. But anyway, what I want to go on about this is all my kids and grandkids were born on a day of a total solar eclipse, except for one. I had one grandson that was born on a total lunar eclipse, and the rest of my family was born on a day of a solar eclipse. My daughter was born on October 27th, which is a total solar eclipse. And what I did when I seen these numbers, well, I'd have to click on this one to go to it, but this number was, let me go ahead and do that right quick. That one, I meant to click on Wikipedia. Oh, it was on the scroll on down. Now, y'all see this number magnitude 10244? Well, when you type this in to see what the Hebrew meaning of it is, you usually you leave out the zero. Usually, it's what they do. That's what the evil rulers, the elite, the Illuminati. That's what they do. They don't use that zero most of the time because it's just a filler. It means really nothing. So what I done was this right here. 1244. I left out the zero because that's how they do it. The meaning is I divide, I cut asunder. That's what Jesus Christ is doing at this end of time. And when I clicked on this, it came from the word origin, come from di and hario, I guess is how you pronounce it. Well, when you read through this, the meanings of this, you get down here to the, it's all about time. It's got something to do. Let me find it here right quick. I think there's one up here. Oh, a passing through space or time, a continuity of time, a completeness of action, a separation, transition from one state to another. So that was my one daughter. Now my two granddaughters, I had one born on August 11th, and there was a total solar eclipse in 1999 on August 11th. I had a granddaughter born on August 11th, and that reminded me of this right here. Oh, Prince, 1999. I know if you're around my age, you heard this song. He had the song "Party Like It's 1999." Now I want to read some of the lyrics of this right quick. Lyrics are, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I want you only to have some fun. I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray, but I woke up this morning. I could have sworn it was Judgment Day." Right there is a key. It's what I'm saying. Judgment Day is just around. I mean, it's coming soon for all these evil people, evil rulers. Now they won't make on because the Bible says at the end evil would be called good and good would be called evil. I'm now the evil one in my town. When I used to work for people, I built houses and remodeled and stuff like that, and so I worked for the whole community where I live. And man, I always tried to make sure I didn't. I always charged them a fair, way more, a price that ain't even, what. I mean, I barely made a living. I made a decent living, but it wasn't easy where I lived. So and because I didn't want to cheat nobody. I didn't want to overcharge them. So I made sure I didn't overcharge anybody. But anyway, I'm going with this. The sky was all purple. Y'all seen purple skies lately? There were people. There were people running everywhere trying to run from the destruction. And I didn't even care. That's kind of like what's going on today. I was dreaming when I woke this. Let me see here. So sue me if I go too fast, but life is just a party, and parties weren't meant to last. Oh, I missed something here. 'Cause they say 2000, party's over, oops, out of time. So tonight I'm going to party like it's 1999. Uh, War is all around us. My mind stays prepared to fight. So if I got to die, I got to listen to my body tonight. Um, 'Cause they say 2000, party's over. Oops, out of time. So tonight I'm going to party like it's 1999. I think that's all I was going to read of that. Oh, no, it's not either. Everybody's got a bomb. We could all die any day, but before I let that happen, I'll dance my life away. Then he goes through the course again. We're running out of time. So tonight we're going to party like it's 99. So, it's all about time. And, uh, so I think, it's easy to tie that solar eclipse to um, Prince in that song. And that was one of my granddaughters. Okay. So now I'm going to go to, there was my daughter and my granddaughter. Now I'm going to go to, I had a granddaughter born on August 21st. And 2007, not 2017, but she was born on the day of the total solar eclipse. And this is called the Great American Eclipse. And they say a total solar eclipse is a sign of judgment. And that's what I've been saying. Judgment's coming to this evil place. This is a grandest place, but the evil people who run it is not grand. And God is, if you go read through the Bible, there's times when God comes in and executes judgment on the evil ones. He's building he's creating his companion, his bride. Uh, it's all about a marriage, really. The It's a covenant. It's what it is. Only the loyal people. He's creating people that's loyal to him, and this is the Most High God, the Creator God, and how Satan is so deceived that he can win is uncomprehendable to me. So anyway, but my granddaughter was born on this great American eclipse. Now I found an article here I want to read right quick. Um, is the eclipse a sign of Judgment Day is coming? Um, I'm going to skip on down. Have you heard of a blood moon prophecy? It stems from a biblical passage which states the sun would be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming great and glorious day of the Lord, what exactly means is unclear, but such passages lead some to believe that there's more to today's solar eclipse than meets the eye. In the mind of some faith groups, let me make this a little bit larger so y'all can maybe read it along with me. It ain't too blurry. Sometimes these, uh, well, I must go down one. All right. Maybe I can still read it. Uh, in some In the mind of some faith groups, the eclipse actually signals something much more sinister. For example, according to Christian evangelist Anne Graham Lotz, daughter of Billy Graham, the eclipse is a definite sign that God's severe judgment is coming on America. She reports a deep conviction that God is warning America of impending disaster and destruction. But the story don't end there. In April of 2084, there's another solar eclipse. It comes right down through America again, and it comes right down through where I live, the path of it, and it makes an X. And then I'm, I'm coming. Okay, I don't know where I was at because I had an emergency come up there. I had to leave for just 15 or 20 minutes. But anyway, I'm coming back to this great American eclipse. My granddaughter was born on the same day. All right, this eclipse makes an X, and there's a fault line, New Madrid or some kind of fault line that comes right. Well, that's about the center of it right there. They claim that there's an earthquake that made the Mississippi River run backwards, and because of this fault line back in 1800s, I think. But anyway, they think this means it's X marks the spot, and it sure looks like it to me. But I mean, it's let me read this right here. The next solar eclipse in the United States will occur in 2024, and this path will cross perpendicular to of this year's event, forming an X across North America. Some Christian scholars believe the X shape is significant and not in a good way. Author Gary Ray thinks this period could spell serious trouble for non-believers. He insists the two eclipses will be the starting and ending signs, bookmarking a 7-year period of awful tribulations that Revelation says waits in store for the non-believers who are left behind on the earth when the rapture occurs. So a lot of people believe in the rapture, but there's a lot that don't. I believe it. The Bible teaches it unequivocally that there's harvest seasons, because this is God's garden. It's His vineyard, and we're tested here to see if we're loyal, like to a marriage. We're because that's what it basically is. He's um, he's building his companions, his partners. That's what he's creating down here, and that's why I say that. And God says we can't even imagine what He has created for us from the time of the rapture on, the place that He's created. Jesus said, I'm going to build, where I go, I'm going to go build many mansions or rooms. That's what the scriptures say. So, and where I am, you will be also. So during the 7 years or 3.5 years, however it happens on the rapture, that's where we'll be until till the Battle of Armageddon. Then we come back with Jesus Christ as when He defeats the enemy, and we'll live on earth for 1,000 years. The millennium, it's called. But anyway, let me see here what else I've got up here, because I kind of got off track. Oh, on this eclipse right here, August 11th, they say something's really there's a big watch day on August 11th. I've watched a few of the teachers online, and they say August 11th is a big day. So from the time my granddaughter was born till August 11th, no, August the 21st, this great solar eclipse. When my granddaughter was born on August 20th till September let me see what I've done with it. Well, anyway, one of them is 22. I kind of got off track here, but maybe it's this one here. No, 22. There's 22 days in between one of my daughters or granddaughter's birthday. And I'm going to see what that means, because it was a big number to me, because it goes to August 11th to September, I think, the 8th or something like that. But because September the 8th is a huge day, and I'm going to show you that in another video. September the 8th is a huge day. There's something that nobody's ever talked about when it's on the. Anyway, I'll do that later. 22, the biblical and prophetic meaning of the number 22. It is known that numbers have special symbolism. 22 is one of the numbers that are very important in this book. Since ancient times, it has been believed that 22 is the number of God as well as the number of revelation. According to the Bible, number 22 usually considered to be symbolism of disorganization. The number is made up of 2 11s, and it is known that number 11 is a symbol of chaos and disorder. And I believe y'all can see, if you watch any kind of news, they're creating this chaos and disorder. Order out of chaos. That's what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to change your way of thinking, your behavior, and they're creating chaos to cause civil wars, all kinds of stuff. They're just doing everything. If you believe in the Democrat Republic thing, well, that's what they're doing. They're creating chaos in between them. So because they know people get fighting mad over voting over Democrats, over Republicans. You know, I mean, it's all a big, it's a stage, and they create how you act, how you behave. If you still believe in that left-right paradigm, the Republicans and Democrats, uh, our presidents are not voted in, are not elected. They are selected. There's like, I heard 7 people rule the whole world. 7 men rule the whole world. And I believe that's probably true. I mean, it may not be 7, but there's a small group of men that control the whole world with their money. Jesus said money is the root to all evil. So all these people have gained all this money, and they use it to buy evil, to pay people to create evil. That's what they do. Man, I tell you what, I'd be glad to get when Jesus Christ becomes the King of Kings here on this earth, and because it'll be a just, righteous system then. I mean, he is not a tyrant. I mean, it's just going to be like it's supposed to be. That he'll be fair to everyone. And it is known the first king of Israel, whose name was Jeroboam, was on the throne for 22 years. There was another king of Israel called King Ahab that also reigned for 22 years. This reminds me of Obama and Donald Trump. These 2 kings here, right before all this happens, is because neither one of them's good. They're both liars and deceivers. They're actors. Donald Trump was an actor. The Bible says God created 22 things in the 6 days of creation. Another biblical fact about 22 is the Hebrew alphabet is composed of 22 letters. It is also known the Aaronic Old Testament contains 22 books. The Bible says there were 22 generations between Adam and Jacob. The 119th Psalm, which is 911 backwards, has 22 parts, while the 25th Psalm is made up of 22 verses. The word light, in the last video I was talking about light cells and atoms. They made this story up about the atoms, and which is light cells. It's cells of light. I mean, I don't think they're really atoms like you've been shown, because we're made of light cells. Somehow, I don't know how that works, but I know we're made from light, vibration, frequency, and energy. The word light is used 22 times in the Gospel of John. It is also important to say that the book of 3 John was actually, used to we said John 3 and whatever. Now they put the numbers over in front of the titles, like 3 John, 2 Corinthians. Used to we'd say Corinthians 2 and 14, John 3 and 16. That's the way that before this so-called Mandela, this great deception took a hold, was actually the 22nd book that is contained in the New Testament. It's interesting to say that the judge of Israel, whose name was Jair, was in the service for the period of 22 years. Sometimes in the Bible, number 22 is related to death. The death of something and the new generation of something else. That's what they're doing. They're wanting to create the death of... there's this thing called Georgia Guidestones, and it's been put up, these huge monuments. And on this guidestone, it says 500, you must keep the population down to 500 million people to balance out the ecology of the earth, which is a lie. It is a flat out ball. It's a lie. God, and here's the thing about it. If it was to be too many old people on earth, God would just create more land. It's ridiculous. These evil rulers, their thoughts and their minds, the way they think, they're going to get this population down to 500 million, or they think they are. That's their goal, is down to 500 million. Well, from let's just say there's 8 billion people on the earth right now. Well, they're killing 7.5. They're going to kill 7.5 billion people, and then they're going to start over it. That's what they believe, but it's not going to work like that. They're so deceived that God the Creator will not allow that. I'll stand on that myself, but you can see that there are a couple of meanings about number 22 in the Bible after reading this chapter. After reading this chapter, that you can clearly see that the number is important in biblical sense and prophetically. There was another number here about one of them earthquakes. Let's see which one. Well, one of these numbers, the magnitude was 1029. It was 1.029. It means a noose or a snare. Here's what the scriptures say about the last days, that Satan is going to set a snare, a snare for people to get in, and then they ain't going to know that they took the mark. That's what the scriptures say. In the great deception, there'll be a snare set for people that's not expecting it, not ready, not knowing. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So if you don't have the knowledge of what the words and the root words mean in the Hebrew and Greek, then you're probably going to get in that snare. You're probably going to take the mark, because it's a tricky. Satan is the most crafty beast in the field. He's 6,000 years. He's planned all this to steal people's souls. And that's what they're saying right here, a noose or a snare. This is all tied to the solar eclipses of my family. Let's see, it seemed like it was something that, I guess that was all, but about that. But, oh, yeah, here was one. He's going to set a snare, and this is the Greek lexicon, by craft or by force, to bind one to something, some necessity, to constrain him to obey some command. That's what they're doing. By witchcraft, by sorcery, because pharmacy comes from the word pharmakia. Pharmakia in the Bible is mentioned many times, and it means sorcery, witchcraft. And that's what this is saying. By craft or by witchcraft or by force, to bind one to some necessity. Because they're making this a necessity that you take this stuff. And when they get it in you, they can control you. They're going to hook you up to 5G. They're going to make you part of the Internet of Things, so they can control you and keep you as their slave. That's the whole deal of this coming on. And the Antichrist is the one that's doing this. The Antichrist is here. There's no doubt. The mask thing, because it's all about the breath that God breathed into Adam. Satan hates that breath that God breathed into mankind. And because what happened was, man was created higher than the angels, and that it made Satan want to. He wanted to worship. He was the choir leader in heaven. And that worship that flowed through him, because Satan has musical instruments built into himself, and when that worship would go through him, because he was a choir leader, it would go through him and then go to God. Well, he felt that worship going through him, and he wanted it. But then when God made man higher than the angels, because Satan was an archangel, he got jealous. He wanted that worship. He didn't want man being higher than him, because Adam was higher than Satan. Had power over him easy. It wasn't nothing. Satan couldn't do nothing to him except try to deceive him. Once Adam was deceived, or Adam and Eve was deceived, well, Eve and then Adam, his story is different, but it's still, he committed it too. It's not that he wasn't deceived. He done it for other reasons. Because I believe he loved Eve so much that he didn't want her going through that misery by herself, so he took upon himself to sin too. So anyway, that's what I'm saying here. By craft, by witchcraft, by the most crafty beast in the field, or by force, to bind one to some necessity, to constrain him to obey some command. That's what they're going to do to you, folks, if you take that mark. And I believe it's a mark, because it's got stuff in it that is controllable. It puts these nano things in you, and they can control it with a frequency. Y'all seen these little plugins they put in the walls that you can buy to put in the walls that runs mice and stuff away from a frequency? That's what this thing here is going to do. When you get it in you, they're going to be able to control you. The Bible says sores going to start popping up on people. Boils is what the Bible calls what's going to happen to these people that take this mark, and what's going to happen? They're going to wish for death, and they can't find it. I mean, that's how miserable it's going to get for them. They're going to wish to die, and they can't die because they've mixed iron with clay. The Bible says you can't mix iron with clay, and that's what they're doing. They're mixing iron with clay because these make little the stuff that goes in you makes little plates. Look, I mean, they're perforated, but they're little tiny plates that has iron, and because iron is subject to electricity, iron is subject to frequency, iron is subject to vibration, and iron is subject to energy in that form. And when they have that in you, they can control that iron in you. So that's why people's going to want to die, because they're so miserable that but they can't. I mean, there's going to be some people that can't die like until Jesus Christ comes. So anyway, let me say it. There was one more here, a word. Oh no, it was another one of those words. 1223. That was one of the words associated with one of these solar eclipses. The either the magnitude or something, that was the number. If I hadn't had to take a break, I had it all ready. I just had to go leave for about 15 minutes. Some kind of an emergency, but anyway, right here it means of time, of continued time. That's what this other number means. It's tied with one of the other eclipses. I mean, the magnitude or something, that was the number, and I just put it into the Hebrew to see what it means. And 2 out of 3 of them had something to do with time. So that's what I'm saying. My family, all through the mathematics of the so-called Satan gematria, it relates to time, numbers and time. And for those to say that that's satanic, well, let me say this: the Magi that come to worship Jesus when he was born was of the same people. They were Greeks. They were Noah's grandsons. They were sons of Japheth, and they had they had knowledge of God that nobody else had. But when the Greeks come up with it, nobody thinks about the Greeks being Noah's grandsons. Japheth was Noah's son, and Japheth was the one that helped Shem cover his dad. I mean, so he had a blessing coming on him. So anyway, they all moved became the Greeks. I mean, I know there were a lot of evil Greeks, but there were also a lot of evil so-called Jews and Hebrews too. I mean, Judas was a Hebrew. Herod was a Hebrew. So, there's evil in every one of these groups of people. So just because the Greeks done it, made this mathematical system up. And I'm going to do a video. Oh, man. Sorry about that. I hate to even say what I just did. I put coffee on the stove to warm it up, and I let it boil all out. But anyway, and I got to smelling something, and then it dawned on me, Travis, you left your coffee on the stove. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for coming to my video. I'm sorry if this video is kind of cut up and stuff, because when I got started, I had kind of an emergency in about the middle of it, and then I come back and I just really didn't know where I stopped at on it. But anyway, that's kind of the way my life goes. Is, I mean, I can get started on something. I've done at least 5 or 6 videos, and I've only got one up. So anyway, in the last 24 hours. But thank y'all for coming. I hope this video turns out so you can kind of understand it. But thank y'all for coming to my videos.